Today we will start with ratio and proportion. Now, what do you mean by ratio? The ratio of two quantities of the same kind and in the same units is a comparison obtained by dividing the first quantity by the other. Okay, so say A and B are two quantities of same kind and same unit. Say the ages of two brothers. Okay, then we can say A is to B is possible. That is, the ratio is possible. A is to B means A divided by B, where B is not equals to 0. Okay, B cannot be 0 because if in the denominator we get 0, it becomes undefined. Okay, now composition of ratios. There are different kinds of ratios. Okay, now what is compound ratio? Say you have two ratios, A is to B and C is to D. These are the two ratios. Now what is the compound ratio of these two ratios? The compound ratio is A into C is to B into D. That is, the numerators we are multiplying is to the denominators we are multiplying. Understood? Now similarly, if we have A is to B, C is to D and E is to F, three ratios, then A into C into E is to B into D into F. Okay? Now duplicate ratio. Say you have a ratio A is to B. Now the duplicate ratio of A is to B is A square is to B square. Okay. Now triplicate ratio. Say you have the same ratio A is to B, then the triplicate ratio of A is to B is A cube is to B cube. Some subduplicate ratio is root A is to root B. Okay. Subtriplicate ratio is cube root of A is to cube root of B. Reciprocal ratio is B is to A. Say I am telling all this when A is to B is the given ratio. Okay. Now proportion. Now after ratio we will talk about proportion. What do you mean by proportion? When I talk of the word proportion, I mean four non-zero quantities. Four non-zero quantities A, B, C, D are in proportion. Okay, if A, B, C, D are in proportion, then A is to B is equals to C is to D. Okay, the ratio of the first two quantities will be equal to the ratio of the last two quantities. So A is to B means A by B is equals to C by D. So A into D is equals to B into C. A and D are the extremes. What do you mean by extremes? See, in the extreme corners, A and D are present. A is in the extreme left and D is in the extreme right. So this is the product of extremes, and B and C are the means. They are present in between A and D. So they are called the means. Okay. So the product of extremes is equals to the product of means. Okay. Now we will talk about continued proportion. Now what do you mean by continued proportion? But before that, when I talk of the word continued proportion, I am talking about three non-zero quantities. Three quantities A, B, C are in continued proportion. If three quantities A, B, C are in continued proportion, then A, B, B, C are in proportion. That is, the middle quantity gets repeated. So A, B, B, C are in proportion. Now, so we have learned if four quantities are in proportion, then A is to B is equals to B is to C. So A by B is equals to B by C. So B square is equals to AC. Okay, I hope you have understood.